Alright. Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode 391. We are just viewing the newest episode of the anime today, Nightmare Approaches. Let's see if I can get this right here. Yeah, the Nightmare Strikes, the warrior god of science and defense, Saint Saturn. Yep, and this episode adapts from pretty much the entirety of chapter 1094. So in the case of last episode, we left off with Atlas overriding past phases to attack Navy soldiers. Well, of course, basically, her, the main Vegapunk, the main Vegapunk, Frankie, and Sanji go get Bonnie. And so Sanji uses his own internal radar to find her, and he does. He finds her very quickly. And then as soon as they find her, they drive back up. And on the way back up, we also see that, well, one of the past pieces, by fact, all being controlled at this point by the Vegapunks. Well, we see that one, Admiral Bluegrass, she has control of one of them. And they have two past pieces fight each other for a little bit. And then Saint Saturn, you get enough of this. Meanwhile, though, we do see briefly Rob Lucci versus Zoro. We can see a continuation of that fight. Katsuru versus Luffy, which, by the way, that kind of gets wrapped up this round here of this one, when Luffy proceeds to hit him really hard and knock him to a building. And Robin's ready to move. So basically, Robin, Edison, Chopper, Nami, and Jinbei all leave. Saucy stays. Kakeru stays in the bubble. So then, of course, we have a really shocking moment here. Saint Saturn takes the field. And we do see when he's about to teleport himself, he knocks over a glass of wine, but the glass doesn't break. I'm like, that's interesting. Normally, if a glass falls on the floor, normally it breaks. Like, this that was really weird. It could be his energy, maybe. He slowed it down, maybe. And then we see him teleport to the field, and we have the Vega tank basically flying up the clouds. Koch knocks it over, and of course, then we see, like, oh crap, it's basically one of the five elders. He overrides the past pieces. Frankie's like, who are the five elders? Not surprising, he doesn't know who the heck they are, because he's basically been Water 7 for years, prior to being with Luffy. So I know even he knows. And so, like, yeah, the highest authority in the world, and they do find out who this one is once they see him. And then we see Saint Saturn in his anime debut in his spider form. Yes, he transformed, sort of like, okay, anyone below Ring of Commodore cannot behold the greatest Saint Saturn. So, one supposedly gets killed, another one runs away, and we see, when he teleports, a pentagram appears in the field, yes. And he says, the first thing he says when he gets like, oh, solid ground, I haven't done this in a while. I'm like, is Mary Swallow not solid ground? Maybe because basically it's up in the clouds, maybe? That's possible. And of course, Vegapunk immediately recognizes who this giant spider creature is. It's Saint Saturn. And he's like, Saint Saturn? He's like, indeed. And then Bonnie, as soon as she hears his voice, she takes a sword and stabs him in the frickin' beard. Probably hitting his chest too. Like, I think the reason why she was able to do it because he did not exactly expect that at all. And the reason why she did it because he's the one who ordered her father to become a pacifista. But yeah, really good episode. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Now, there will not be a new episode next week, but there will be a new chapter of the manga. Expect to see a review of that next week. Because next week's episode is a recap. And it just, all the footage leads to this point. And apparently Karen is joining Chopper in this recap. Yes, Carrot is here. First time she's appeared since the end of Wano. But I'm skipping the recap episode because I've seen a recap episode before, and it's basically stock footage. It just basically Toei excuse basically to delay an episode, but they need an episode released because basically trying to get a schedule. So let's do a recap episode. First one in a while. I mean the thing had just come back from a break, and because I think when the show came back, they aired a recap that was like an hour and a half long, just to catch people up. Now, as for what the next week episode is going to be called, I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea what the episode title is going to be called, because, well, I'll have to wait a couple weeks for that. Yeah. But yeah, that is going to be pretty much it for this particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up we have is the Comic Corner, and then it's on to From Old Country Pumpkin, the Master Swordsman. Okay, thanks, you. Bye.